Somebody else like have days where they just want to shave off their hair and just cut it all off. Having one of those days. Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So I'm quite excited for today's video. I'm going to be basically trying out a load of products that have been in my drawers but I literally don't use ever. Or I mean, there's some products in here that I don't even remember buying, and there's others that I'm looking at and I'm like, I remember liking this, but did I? Or like, yeah, there's a whole mix of things in here, but the main kind of theme is that I have not tried these or used them in a very, very long time. So I thought I would just put it all together and create a look for you today. I got the idea of this from KathleenLights. I'm going to link her version of this video below. Love her, she's fantastic. Go and follow her if you don't already. But yeah, I just thought it would be good fun to try some of these products again and see whether or not, you know, I do actually like them and I just have too much makeup, or whether or not they need to find a new home in the bin. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you give this a big thumbs up and let me know if there's any other type of videos you want to see me do. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. But yeah, mate, I hope you like it, and without further ado, let's rewind and go to Naked Face. Okay, so primer is already on the face, so we're gonna excuse that, just because I don't actually have one that I don't use, so I couldn't really pick one out. But we're gonna start with foundation. So the foundation that I kind of found in my drawer that I don't ever pick up, there was two, and one of them, the reason I don't pick it up is because it's completely the wrong colour, but I do love the foundation. This one, I don't even remember trying. But this is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Full Coverage Long Wear Foundation. It's very thick. That's not budging. This worries me. Okay. I'm gonna try with a sponge, see how that works. That is very grey toned. Who would have grey toned skin? I mean, that is very, very full coverage straight away. Like, 100% happy with how that is sitting on the skin. Okay, beginning to remember why I didn't like it. But also it definitely feels like there's something on my skin. Although I'd say, like, considering how thick that is, like, that's still not budging. It doesn't feel like it's really thick. It's just like, I just do feel that there's something on my face, you know. I'm going to do the other side with my buffing brush just because where it's quite thick, I don't know if the sponge is the right method of application. But it's just like it's picking up on a lot of texture on my face, and it's a little bit grey toned, although like the depth, like the depth of colour, so like the brightness or whatever, that's pretty good. The tone feels very grey, which I'm not a fan of. So I'm going to use my buffing brush to do the other side just to kind of see. I feel like I'm not getting as much coverage with brush as I was with my sponge, so I might just have to go back over with the sponge just to, yeah, definitely apply it better with a sponge. Like, this side of my face you can see is still quite red, whereas this kind of gone. Going back to the sponge. I mean, like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this foundation, I would say. Like, it does what it says. It is full coverage. It does feel very lightweight considering how thick this, I mean, this still got so much left on my hand. But I mean, it's okay. There's nothing hugely wrong with it. It is picking up on texture a little bit, so if you do have texture in your skin, just be aware of that. Like, around my nose I'm a little bit drier and it's definitely kind of picking up on that, and it also feels a little bit kind of oily on the skin, so yeah, I'm just getting a lot of, like, it's not settling very nicely here where I have dry patches. I mean, there's nothing hugely wrong with it, but for me personally, I'm not a huge fan. It's just settling into any dry patches, it's just picking up on any texture, and it's not really giving me a really matte finish, which I was kind of expecting. And it is just a little bit grey toned. I feel like my skin is now feeling very grey toned, so yeah, I'm probably not going to pick that one up again. That one is probably going to be a bye. Moving on to concealer, we have a Rimmel product here. So this is their Lasting Finish 25-Hour Removable Concealer. I remember trying this and I remember being very underwhelmed with it. So this is lightweight, gives medium coverage, and this is in the shade 100 Fair. It's got cushion applicator, which again I wasn't hugely impressed by. I mean, it's quite light, so that should be quite nice under the eyes. I feel like I didn't like the cushion applicator, so I'm probably going to apply it as it is and then use my sponge. We'll kind of see. But I do remember being very underwhelmed by this, but we will kind of see. Like, the concealer itself, the product, isn't bad. Like, that has covered some of my dark circles and it's definitely brightened. And it's blended nicely, like it's not... I don't know, it's creasing. But that's normal for me, everything creases. So yeah, as like a concealer, that's actually a nice concealer. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to put a bit around my... I'm just really not a fan of like the applicator. I just feel like that makes it harder work than it needs to be. But the concealer itself is nice. It brightens, it's covering those dark circles. But yeah, there is nothing wrong with that concealer. I just do not like that applicator, which is probably why I've hardly used it. I've just been really put off by that. But otherwise the concealer is actually quite nice. The formula is nice, it covers, it does what you want it to do. It's definitely more of an under eye concealer, I would say, because it is a lot lighter and only gives medium coverage. So if you want to get rid of some more annoying blemishes, this probably isn't going to be the one for you. But it's actually quite a nice concealer. I'm not mad about that. Powder, we have another Rimmel product. So this is their Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder. I know some people will rave about this. I've got it in the shade Peach Glow. The reason I haven't been using this is because I've been using their Instafix Matte, which they brought out last year, and which I'm obsessed with. That stuff is amazing, but also the Glossier Powder Powder. But I haven't used this in ages, so I thought I would try it today. I think I would prefer it if it was like translucent. I'm pretty sure they do a translucent one, but when I picked this up it wasn't available. But I like that. That's a nice powder. We will be using that one again. Cool, yay, we have a hit. We have a hit. So for bronze, blush and highlight, I'm using this little palette. So this is from Collection. It's their hashtag Blush and Go Glow palette. I picked this up last year and I think I remember liking it. But I do not remember the last time I used it. I think I picked it up, I used it to like test it out, and then I don't think I've used it again since. So I thought I would do that today. I'm pretty sure the brown is supposed to be more for contour, but it looks a little bit warm for a contour for me. Yeah, that's quite warm, so I'm just going to use it as a bronze and see how we get on with that. I do also have some extra highlights just in case I didn't like that one. Oh, that's pigmented. Okay, oh, there's blends easily, that's fine. There's a lot of kickback, but it doesn't really bother me. I feel like I'm going to be so bronzed after this. Okay, so the bronzer in that is not bad at all. That's, hold on. That's quite a nice bronzer. I would actually say from swatching it, it looks quite warm, and then when you start blending it in, it does go cool tone, so that probably is definitely more of a contour shade than a bronze shade, but that's what the palette says. But otherwise, that's quite a nice bronzer. Cool. Okay, happy days. And then we have two blushes here. So we have this more peachy shade, and then this more kind of pinky shade. I'm just going to swatch both of these to see. Well, that one's pigmented. I'm going to go for the more peachy shade. Just, you see like the amount of kickback that you get from that. It's quite a lot. As I said, like, it doesn't bother me so much, but I know some people get really annoyed by kickbacks. So just an FYI. Like, that's a nice blush. There is nothing. Why have I not been using this palette more? Because a nice amount of pigment. I really like the shade of that paler one. Yeah, that's a nice palette. Why am I not using it more? Okay, now let's try the highlight. this is my test. So, it's not my test. It's got like, it's kind of a neutral champagne shade, which I would expect from like a do-it-all palette, because you want to try and cater to as many people as possible. So let's see what this highlight is like. That's quite pretty. It's got more of like a pinky tone to it, I would say, than staying neutral. So much product on my jeans. Why did I wear black jeans for this? Okay. I mean, I need those other highlights. That is pretty damn pigmented. Why have I not been using this palette more? That's okay. Kind of surprised. Why am I not using this palette more? I'm really annoyed with myself now, because that's a really good little palette, and I think it was only something stupid like £5. I can't remember, but that's a really nice palette. Like, so far it's probably my favourite out of everything I've tried so far. But that's just like ticked every single box. The bronze was nice, the blush was nice, the highlight is like, that highlight has blown me away. Like, I do not remember liking it that much. Yeah, we like that. I'll be using that again. Just as an FYI, the two other highlights I had that I brought up to try just in case are from MUA. It's their Undress Your Skin Shimmer Highlighters. So I have it in the shade Pink Shimmer, which is like that. So it does look very, very pretty. It's very pinky toned, very iridescent, super pigmented, very glittery. And then we also have this one, which is iridescent gold, so it's a little bit more yellow toned, which is probably why I haven't used this one that much. And then, oh, that's pretty. Do you know what? Why not? Let's add some more highlight. Let's go for this goldy one. I'm just gonna glow like a Christmas tree today. Oh shit. Oh. You're going to be able to see my highlight from space. That's insane. How have I had these in my collection and not realised that they are that good? Annoyed at myself. Doesn't quite cover it. Moving on to the eyes, I have these palettes from Maybelline, which are the nudes palettes, which I remember being obsessed with and raving about these like a year plus ago, and then I just stopped using them. I think it's because I got more into my eyeshadows, I tested a lot more, and maybe realised they probably weren't as good as I thought they might have been to begin with. But I'm not sure, so I thought I wanted to try them out again today and just see how I feel. So I've got the original nudes, I've got the blush nudes, and then I've got the rock nudes. I don't think I've ever used that one. So we're going to put that aside for now. I think I'm going to focus on the original. Yeah, so they're swatching really nicely. Why aren't I using these more? I don't know. Let's get into it. So I'm going to start with that, just like the normal kind of bony shade, just to kind of set my eyes. This is weird, I'm using one eyeshadow palette for the mirror and the other eyeshadow palette for the eyeshadows. Cool, and then I'm going to take that transition shade that I swatched up here. Like, they're pigmented, they're going on nicely, they're blending nicely. So far, I see no issues. That matte is like a little patchy, but nothing like we'll start building it up and blending it out more. Okay, so one thing, that like transition shade, which I've just used, that's like the darkest of that shade range. It's either that one or you then go over to like the blacks. I'm going to improvise a little bit. We're going to take the kind of let's take the bronzy shade on the fluffy brush and just see if we can deepen it up a bit. Not really. Okay, let's take the darkest brown. Like, it is darkened up, which is great, but it is looking a little bit patchy. Just going to take a flat brush and go into that gold, because apparently I liked it, so we're going to try and we're going to pat it on the lid. Like, I have other gold shadows that I feel have more payoff than that. A lot more payoff. Like that's, I mean, it's subtle, which is fine, but it's also really quite patchy. I remember loving these. Like, I mean, the matte went on quite nicely. It was blending out. It was a touch patchy, like where you built it up more, but you can kind of work with that. Like I said, there's no kind of transition from like that to a darker to like deepen up that crease, which is a little bit annoying. So I tried that one, that didn't really do anything. So then I tried that one and that did help, but that was even patchier, which looks a little bit weird in the corner. And then I've just used that gold, which I obviously loved at some point, but that's really not giving a lot of colour payoff, and it's also really patchy. I think it's safe to say that I remembered why I do not use these palettes anymore. They are okay, but I think because you pay like £11 for one of these, they're not good enough for that price. Especially when I know with the collection uncovered eyeshadow palettes, which I do use quite a lot, and they have like a very similar like shade range to this in the shimmers, the colour payoff and the quality is 10 times better, and they're only about £4. So I would save your money with these, and I would go with the collection uncovered palettes instead if you were looking for more of a budget nude palette that you want to go for, because this unfortunately is just not worth it, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with my eyes now. Moving on to mascara, so I have one here which I know my mum loves, and I got it at Christmas and I haven't really used it at all, and it is the Estee Lauder, so it's one of the highest, I think the highest, everything else in here is drugstore. Didn't realise that. Okay, but this is the only high end piece. This is the Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme Lash Multiplying Volume Mascara. It promises a lot, so I'm hoping it delivers because I need it to cover up this eye. Look. Okay, so this is one coat. That's okay, like, that's nice. It's not like as big and voluminous as like my favourite, which is the Stila Huge Lash Extreme, but it's still like a nice lash. It's like an everyday lash. Let's try a second coat and see if we can kind of really pump that up. I'm definitely more of one for length, like I like length. I'm a big fan of length. And like, it's not really adding length, but it is adding volume at the base. It is kind of, it's giving you that. Actually, that's two coats. There wasn't too much difference between first and second. Like, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's the best or the most like volumizing mascara I have ever used. Like, my Stila one still trumps this. I have a feeling the Stila one is probably, even though not budget itself, it's probably out the price of this one. Like, it's okay. I wouldn't repurchase, and I wouldn't go out and say to people like, you have to have this mascara, but I do understand why people like it. It gives like a nice natural looking kind of volume to your lashes. Yeah, so that's okay. There's nothing hugely wrong with it. It gives volume, which is what it says it's going to do. It does give a bit of length, it curls. Yeah, it's nice. I wouldn't say you necessarily need to go out and spend a lot of money on it, but if you want to, it's nice. You'll get like a nice lash from it. Okay, so to finish up the look, I have a couple of lip products. I don't even remember purchasing these. But we have the L'Oreal Lip Paint Lacquers. I have it in shade 102, which is Darling Pink, and 105, which is Red Friction. And these are the lacquers. So I know they do matte ones of these, which is why I don't remember buying these, because for me, I feel like I would have gone for the matte ones. But yeah, let's swatch these and see what they're like. So this is Darling Pink. I honestly can't even remember what these look like. Okay, so it's a normal doe foot type thing. Where am I going to swatch this? Let's go here. Ooh, I like that colour. That's a very me, everyday colour. Like, that's quite nice. That's Pink Darling. And this one is Red Fiction. Sorry, not Friction. Red Friction is a very different thing. It's a very like nice warm toned red. Why have I not used these? Those are two colours that are very, very me. I'm going to go for the red today because I feel like I haven't worn a red lip for a little while, so I'm not using lip liner, which is probably a bit dangerous, but we'll see. And I don't know if you can see, but it's one of those doe foot applicators that hugs the lip, so... why don't I wear this? First of all, the shade is gorgeous. I really, really like the shade of this. Easy to apply. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's very kind of creamy for a liquid lip. It is very liquidy, but it's not sticky or tacky. It'll be interesting to see how it dries down and how it lasts. But I like that. Why don't I use those more? So this is the finished look. We do have some hits, we have some misses, we have some that I'm still a little bit on the fence with. Yeah, but this is the finished look. Let me know if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for new videos weekly, and let me know if there's any other types of videos you'd like to see me do. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye!